Hello, 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 I'm Ruby Burrito, and welcome to today's video. Today we got some information on 3 elite specializations that'll be coming in Expansion 6 later this year. That's going to be for the Mesmer, the Ranger, and the Guardian. I'm going to be going through the information that they posted on the website today. They also posted a video, which I will have playing towards the end of the video. Also, I'll have a link to the post in the description below. Without further ado, let's dive right in. Elite specializations are back: Mesmer, Ranger, and Guardian. Up here is just kind of an intro, and they touch on how at 12 p.m. Pacific time, Friday, July 25th, there will be a live preview of these 3 elite specs. The Troubadour is the first one. This is going to be for the Mesmer. Inspiring storytellers. Since the Firstborn emerged from beneath the boughs of the Pale Tree 36 years ago, many Sylvari have taken the lesson where life goes, so too should you, to heart, traversing Tyria, battling their inner dragons, and finding their place in the time after. These far-flung travelers have seen and done much in such a short time, and some, whether through whim or wild hunt, have taken to regaling Tyrians with tales of recent famous and infamous figures. So each of these are going to have a background that they're going to be coming from. So all of these elite specializations are going to come from one of the members of the Tyrian Alliance. So these Sylvari Troubadours have returned home to share their craft in good faith and strengthen the bonds between their people and the rest of the Tyrian Alliance. So this is coming from the Pale Tree portion of the Tyrian Alliance. Troubadours spin dramatic ballads and tales as their words weave magic and music to raise ally spirits and demoralize their foes. Build up a crescendo. Troubadours are mesmers who seek to support their allies in battle through the power of music and the fantastical tales of Tyrian heroics. Being more orally focused, Troubadours opt to manifest their powers by generating musical notes with their abilities rather than visually deceptive clones. These notes are used to extend the duration of their instrumental enchantments, allowing them to command a lasting presence in combat. Once their orchestra is in full swing, Troubadours use their keynote skill Crescendo to swing the tide of battle with appropriate flair. When playing as a Troubadour, your shatter skills are replaced by instruments. When an instrument is played, it produces an initial magical effect. Performing with the reverberating lute will release sonic waves of energy, damaging enemies. Strumming the harmonious harp will create a healing aura to provide succor to allies. After an instrument is used, it will continue playing in the background, providing bonuses to the player that can be further augmented through traits. Troubadours use their voices as well as their instruments. They can recite the tale of Queen Jenna protecting divinity's reach to grant their allies distortion, or they can invoke the story of Scarlet Briar, emulating her cruelty to debilitate their enemies. Troubadours can become a whole band on their own through the Grandmaster trait call and response, creating an afterimage of an instrument that repeats its effect. So we have these instruments up here that they touched on, the lute and the harp, and it looks like we're going to have the utility skills being the shouts, I guess, almost more like songs, but recite the tale of Queen Jenna or the story of Scarlet Briar. And it looks up here that we might get something with perhaps Dougal Keen or Elmora Soulkeeper as well, which would be interesting. So that is going to be the Mesmer. Very interesting take on Mesmers. It completely changes the clones and really the playstyle, I think. So it'll be curious to see how that goes in game. The Galeshot is going to be the Ranger elite spec. For over 100 years, the Tengu of the Dominion of Winds have kept their gates shut and their arrows trained on the outside world. After minions of Primordus and Jormag threatened to siege the Dominion's walls in the last Dragon Rise, some Tengu have emerged to more actively engage in Tyrian affairs and, as a rare honor, offer cultural exchanges at the behest of their royal houses. One such exchange is the honored tradition of the Galeshot. So this one, similar to how the Troubadour is coming from the Pale Tree and the Sylvari, the Galeshot is coming from the Tengu. These Tengu archers, skilled and oath-bound to protect the royal houses, are able to summon the 4 cardinal winds to form a powerful cyclone bow and deliver swift justice to their foes. Wielders of the cyclone bow, which you can see in this image here, Galeshots are rangers and the premier archers of Tyria. Using their aptitude for nature magic, they can sculpt and command the wind at will. This power is manifested in the Cyclone Bow, a weapon that is capable of long-range devastation. The Cyclone Bow increases in strength as it's used, culminating in a powerful coup de grace to dispatch your enemies. Learning from nature, Galeshots emulate birds in the sky, employing squalls of air. Battle with keen sight and unerring aim. Galeshots are able to call upon the Cyclone Bow at will. The Cyclone Bow generates arrows over time. This feels similar to how the Virtuoso will accumulate those daggers over time. I've been playing a lot of Virtuoso, so that's where my mind immediately went. These arrows are a resource used to fuel its skills such as Supersonic Arrow, a lightning fast shot of wind that deals heavy damage to enemies it pierces. As you use arrow-consuming skills with the bow, you progress towards enabling its finale, Hawkeye. Hawkeye locks onto your target and nearby enemies and unleashes a hail of shredding arrows. These archers utilize squalls to control the flow of battle. They can call upon a freezing wind to chill their projectiles. This is going to be the utility skills again. Launch themselves into a whirlwind or even summon a raging tornado. Galeshots can form a closer bond with their avian allies through traits like flock together, enhancing bird pets and granting quickness to allies with beast skills. So, I was curious how this is going to interact with their pets, because the pet is the main profession mechanic, and a lot of the elite specs just kind of play on the pet. But it'll be interesting. I do want to see if you have your pet the entire time, and how, like, what you need to hit in order to call upon the Cyclone Bow. I'm assuming it's going to be, I think it's F5 for the Ranger, similar to what the Soul Beast would use to swap between the two different versions of Soul Beast, and Druid would use to go into their Druid abilities. The Luminary, finally. Protectors of the Secret Flame. This will be the Guardian elite specialization with this symbol. In the years following the Char Civil War and scattering of Bangar's dominion, relations between the four legions had remained steady, bolstered by events after the end of the Dragon Cycle, with the Flame Legion formally rejoining the legions and the Iron Legion having appointed Smoder's successor. The two legions sought to commemorate the changing times with a joint project. Thus, the Luminary was born. So this one's going to come from the Char, specifically Flame and Iron Legion. In a shrewd diplomatic play, the two legions have since agreed to share their combined efforts with the Tyrian Alliance and its member races in the spirit of continued collaboration in this new era. Luminaries bear an enchanted iron brazier that sustains a powerful sacred flame. The bearer can wreathe themselves with this fire and wield a blazing arsenal of weapons against their foes while striking powerful stances mid-fray. You have the Radiant Shroud, which will allow you to put out respectable damage or supporting allies. Their brazier provides energy for the Radiant Shroud, in which they're able to wield various weapons of light and flame to adapt to the situation at hand. Luminaries also have access to stance utility skills, gaining additional tools for offense, defense, crowd control, and mobility. Radiant Shroud is a new take on the Shroud mechanic. The Shroud has no limiting resource, allowing players to always enter when the Shroud is not on cooldown. While in Radiant Shroud, your weapon skills are replaced with 5 new skills, a basic attack in the first slot, and 4 Radiant weapon skills in the 2nd through 5th slot. So this is actually going to be closer to a Necromancer elite specialization, which is very interesting. Using a Radiant weapon skill will equip that weapon while performing an initial attack, and then flip over to the weapon's additional skill. The Luminary Grandmaster minor trait, Radiant Armaments, grants a unique passive bonus based on the equipped weapon, which lingers for a bit after existing Shroud. Luminaries look to maximize their outgoing damage, may want to use the hammer right before exiting to take advantage of its damage passive boon, while those who need to support their allies may prefer to end on a staff to gain its access to its increased outgoing healing. Which is very interesting, that what you end on is what's going to give you that boon. I like that, though. That will make for a very interesting build craft with this elite specialization. So right now, we have the deep dive blog for the first 3 elite specs. We have a video featurette, which will be at the end, and then a live stream with the devs on Friday. Next week, we're going to get 4, 5, and 6, a deep dive blog, video featurette, and a live stream. That'll be next Friday. And then finally, week 3 will be 7, 8, and 9. I'm assuming we're going to get Mesmer 1 week, we're going to get Thief 1 week, and then Elementalist another, because they showed us those 3 first, and we got Mesmer, and then the Galeshot and Luminary. But I will be very interested to see how that goes. That was a lot to digest. I think there's tons of information, and we will have to wait until we see them in game, but I'll be honest, as always, the Guardian Elite spec looks like it's going to be really powerful. Looks like it can go either support or damage. Mesmer should also be able to go support or damage, but I think that one will probably lead closer to damage per usual. And the Ranger might be busted from range in PvE or World v World, or PvP or World v World, but it'll take some tuning for sure to get these in line. But I do think that the Galeshot is going to be able to be very nasty from a range, and the Luminary is probably going to be a pretty decent tank if you build it correctly, and then to be able to support and heal your allies, I think is going to be a good support spec. We've had a lot of Core Guardian in PvP lately, so it'll be interesting to see if that shakes that up. And then, again, for the Troubadour, I don't know that I see enough on the kit for like a support in the sense of healing your allies, but for sure it will be something that could be useful potentially in like endgame PvE content if they give lots of boons to be more of like a support DPS. But yeah, those are my initial thoughts and everything that they've given so far. So let me know your thoughts down below in the comments and hit that subscribe button to support the channel. Otherwise, we will see you guys in the next one. Take care.